Doc Naps, I like your background.
Good morning to one and all. Praise be Jesus and Mary. Welcome to this orientation for the graduate school students for school year 2020-2021. It is a blessed morning to one and all because we are gathered here through this virtual platform that are given to us so that we can still meet despite the COVID-19 pandemic. And we are blessed also today with the presence of our Dean of the Graduate School, at the same time, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Judith C. Chavez. Good morning, ma'am. Also, we welcome in our session today Dr. Miguela Napiere, our Research Planning and Development Coordinator. Good morning, ma'am. Also, our presenters for today, we have Dr. Kurt Candilas, the Dean of the Arts and Sciences Program, at the same time, a graduate school faculty. Also, we have with us Dr. Crescenti Ixur P. Barcelona, one of the graduate school faculty as well, at the same time, our Quality Assurance Coordinator and our Promotions and Marketing Coordinator. Also with us is the Dean of Student Affairs, and again, a graduate school faculty in the person of Dr. Revina Mendoza. Good morning to one and all. Again, so that we can be familiar with the activities today, may I request that we focus all our attention. We pay attention to the presentation, to what will be given to us today, so that as we continue with this new way of learning in the new normal, we would have, or we can still have, a meaningful and productive a productive way of learning, especially that we are in this pandemic. All right? So as we formally begin our orientation today, may I request everyone to please be in your prayerful mode as we invoke the presence of our Almighty Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit in our opening prayer. Let us be reminded of God's presence within and in our midst. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most loving and gracious Father, we thank you so much for bringing us safely into the beginning of this day. We thank you so much for all the wonderful things you have given to us, the gift of life, the gift of persons, the gift of being in a community, and the gift of your resources to us in this virtual space. We ask you, dear Lord, to bless each of us, our students, our personnel, our faculty in the graduate school, and the administration, so that as we battle against this COVID-19 pandemic, we will still continue to glorify and praise you through our good works and deeds. We ask you, dear Lord, to bless our orientation today, that we may be able to keep abreast with the trends, with the updates, and with the services that Lourdes College will be offering for our graduate school students. Also, dear Lord, bless us in our respective homes so that we can still be protected by your guiding presence and your angels watching over us all throughout the day. We glorify the Lord by saying, Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and will be forever. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Once again, good morning to one and all. Welcome to our orientation today. Alright, and so to give us his words of welcome and the introduction of the faculty of the graduate school and of course the students, may I request Dr. Kurt S. Candilas, the Dean of the Arts and Sciences Program and the faculty of the graduate school, to please do the honor. Sir Kurt?
Yes, Sir Glenn, thank you. Let me just present my screen. Sir Clint, have you seen my screen now? Sir, have you seen my screen? Sir Carl?
Yes, Kurt.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So, good morning, dear graduate school students of Lourdes College. Praise be Jesus and Mary. To the Dean of Lourdes College Graduate School and our pillar of the institution, Dr. Judith C. Chavez, our fellow professors of the Graduate School Studies, students, guests, good morning. In this new normal setup of our educational system, we people from the academe are indeed challenged in coping with the demands of our instructional deliveries and processes without sacrificing our thrust in the graduate school of retooling our students' mind, body, and spirit. We at the graduate school firmly believe that such thrusts are manifested through our aim of developing our students' desirable shifts in attitudes, beliefs, and habits as a result of participating in graduate researches and other instructional processes, active leadership, and involvement of our students in their respective fields of specialization, that they will demonstrate a higher level of competence in their chosen career. We also envisioned among our students to develop a continuing desire for lifelong learning where they manifest the Christian values in their personal and professional life to become more reflective in their professional practices. With this aim, we thank God and Mother Mary that they gave us the role to become an essential catalyst in your professional undertakings. So on behalf of the administration, I thank you for choosing Lourdes College in strengthening and enhancing your disciplinal competence. Thank you and welcome to this Graduate School Online Orientation 2020. So at this point in time, allow me to share to you the Lourdes College Graduate School faculty lineup for the school year 2020-2021. Okay, so for the Dean of the Arts and the Dean of the Graduate School, at the same time, our VPAA, we have Dr. Judith C. Chavez. The Secretary of our Graduate School is Ms. Doris Maisa. Here are the full-time faculty of the Graduate School. We have Ms. Annabel P. Asadera, Dr. Crescente Exur P. Barcelona, yours truly, Dr. Kerwin Salvador Caragos, Dr. Anthony Lee B. Dagang, Ms. Marilu Discalyar, Ms. Mirna Fantonalgo, Dr. Maria Alona A. Galendez, Dr. Rivina O. Mendoza, Dr. Miguela B. Napiere, Dr. Melody A. Ritazo, Dr. Raquel Saab, and Dr. Alexander Swan. We also have part-time faculty in the graduate school. We have Dr. Melby Apag, Dr. Julieta Bitonio, Dr. Maria Angela Chiara Caballero, Dr. Cyril C. Chavez, Dr. Marianita D. Dableo, Dr. Salvador de la Peña III, Dr. Alicia M. Diel, and Dr. Dulce Corazon Esperon. We also have Mr. Oliver N. Gomez, Ms. Rita Gulak, Dr. Alma Guerrea, Dr. Jean Lociliano, Dr. Vincent Lee Padilla, and Dr. Virginia Lourdes Yakapin. So once again, welcome to our Lourdes College Graduate School orientation. So I'll have to welcome the students from the following graduate school programs of our school. We have students in Master in Business Administration, students in Master of Science in Hospitality Management, students in Master in Library and Information Science, students in Master of Arts in Human Resource Development, students in the Master of Arts in Home Economics, students in the Master of Arts in Education, major in Childhood Education. We also have students from Master of Arts in Education, major in Teaching English Communication Arts. Students from the Master of Arts in Education, major in Teaching Physical Education. Students from the Master of Arts in Education, major in Elementary Education. Students from the Master of Arts in Education, major in Educational Management. So once again, students from the Graduate School of Lourdes College, welcome to the school year 2020-2021. Thank you. Sir Clint.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kurt Candilas, for your beautiful words of welcome. Indeed, although we are against a battle with an invisible virus we call COVID-19, our desire for learning, our desire for teaching will still remain. All right? And also, thank you very much, Dr. Kurt, for presenting to us the lineup of faculty in the graduate school, as well as recognizing our students from the different graduate school studies programs. All right. At this juncture, it is also imperative that we refresh once again, especially that we have our new students with us. to be able to be informed and be familiar with the school's vision mission, the quality policy of the school, and the research agenda. And this will be presented to us by our Research Planning and Development Coordinator. We have Dr. Miguela B. Napiere. Dr. Napiere, take it away.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. Kurt, may I present? So in a little while,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
will just present my screen. Okay. So good morning to all our students in the graduate school. We would like to welcome you. I would
Alright.
also like to.
So once again, no,
Yes. Yes. Go ahead, Glenn.
okay, once again, no, we welcome Dr. Miguela Napiere for her presentation on the school's vision, mission, quality policy, and the research agenda. Dr. Napiere, take it away.
Okay. Kurt, it's still presenting, Kurt. I cannot present my slide.
Oh, wait, ma'am.
It's presenting.
Okay.
Okay, yes. So, we would like to thank the graduate. We would like to welcome the students here in our organization, and I would like to personally thank 59 among you who who evaluated our feedback on suggestions, research. So, for a while. Is it already there? Do you see the screen, Kurt?
Check, ma'am. Not check.
This one? This one, Vin? Do you see the screen?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much. So, welcome to the school for the new ones. So this is our vision, mission, and core values. So the vision statement is important because it spells out our identity. It clarifies the purpose of the school, what we stand for. It provides direction to where the school is going. So who are we? We are the Ignatian Marian community. By Ignatian, we refer to the foundress of the RVM congregation, namely Venerable Ignacia del Espiritu Santo. Our community is imbued with the spirituality of Venerable Ignacia's humble servanthood, inspired by our Blessed Mother. So what do? We witness the loving compassion of Jesus. To be a witness is not to only be a spectator, but to embody the values, to live it. We embody the loving compassion of Jesus. So what are the indicators of His compassion? These are only few, but He is a person. He is our God who facilitated healing, teaching, raising the dead. He identified with the least of our brethren, and He invites us to come to Him, we who are weary and overburdened. So when we witness, we provide our healing presence, we become light to the blindness of ignorance, and we give life and service. So we empower and nurture our learners by facilitating the enhancement of their skills, by nurturing their potentials, so that we will all become humble and globally competent leaders. So here are some indicators of our service that we do to the community. We visit the hospital, we provide these services, and the graduate school is also having feeding to the Divisoria families. What is our defining characteristic? We are committed to social renewal for the common good. And so, as a whole, this is our vision. We, the Ignatian Marian community, witness the loving compassion of Jesus, empower and nurture learners to be humble and globally competent leaders committed to social renewal for the common good. Our mission, so that we will approximate our vision, we grow deeper in discernment and interior freedom to be prophets of hope in today's world. Now, this is very crucial, especially at this time during the pandemic, that we do a discernment. A discernment is a decision-making process that honors God's will in our lives. We align our will with His will, and this is done in prayer. Interior freedom refers to the freedom within us, that even amidst adverse external circumstances, this is not taken away from us because God is living within. Our body is a dwelling place of the Spirit. Someone who has inner freedom is not threatened by criticism nor dependent on praise. He is not afraid of truth. He is motivated from the Spirit of God living within. And so we become prophets of hope when we speak God's word and we focus on His unwavering faithfulness amidst tribulations that we experience in life. So how do we grow in discernment and interior freedom? We become reflective learners who see meaning in our learning experiences from the lens of God's love. Secondly, we continuously form Ignatian Marian leaders who witness to faith, excellence, and service in varied sociocultural settings. So graduate school students, you are working in various disciplines, no? You are working in libraries, in industries, in schools, etc. So wherever we are, we carry with us these core values of faith, excellence, and service. Third, we constantly pursue innovative programs, approaches, and educational strategies to develop service-oriented individuals and world-class professionals. Fourth, we build up resources and capabilities to respond to contemporary issues towards enhancement of the quality of life. And so, even your researches are geared towards quality of life, that we help our participants also improve whatever they are having at the moment. Fifth, we expand our educational thrust for the poor. And so this is our core values. We have faith, excellence, and service. And within each core value, we have related values. Because we are certified with ISO, this is our quality policy. So we provide holistic education that targets the mind, the heart, and the hands. So earlier we heard about profession of presence. So competence and character is important for us. We provide inclusive education that accepts and respects others' religion, beliefs, and ethnic origin. So what do we commit? We comply applicable statutory requirements, and so that we can sustain our quality management system, we provide these services. So for what? For service-oriented, so that we may become service-oriented individuals and world-class professionals. As a whole, this is our quality policy. So we at Lourdes College of Cagayan de Oro City commit to provide integral and inclusive education to develop Ignatian Marian leaders who serve for the common good. We commit to faithfully comply with all applicable requirements and sustain quality management system through continual innovations of instructional and support processes. That is why you will find that amidst this pandemic, we also do something, provide continuous service through the online environment, and through our learning management system. So also we undertake research, linkages, and community extension services so that we will achieve being service-oriented individuals and professionals who serve the world. Okay, so after this vision mission, allow me to present the research agenda. So based on the NERA and other research agenda, we have crafted our own research priorities under the research agenda. So those who are in the elementary education, childhood education, educational management, you can focus on the following, but you may also base your study on what is relevant in your workplace. But you can take a look at values enhancement, pedagogical practices, effectiveness of teaching strategies, creativity and critical thinking, grit, self-regulated learning, peace education. Especially now, CHED is trying to emphasize peace education and indigenous people. So we would like to encourage you to do that. So social advocacies, education for children with special needs, technology, especially now, very important role of technology. Assessment, independent study. If you would like to have more detailed information on this, we can post it in our school website. So for early childhood, we have practices that maximize learning, such as developmentally appropriate practice. Okay, so for educational management, you might consider effective management, curriculum evaluation, instructional programs. For those who are teaching physical education, you might consider biometrics. Biometrics is a measure after all, so it does not necessarily a title. So effectiveness of teaching approaches to develop these competencies. Sports, for those who are teaching English, you can focus on conversational skills, oral proficiency competence, orthography, etc. For those who are in the HRD, you can take a look at outsourcing of human resources, diversity policies and practices, reward system. For those who are taking MBA, some of you are now undertaking research, thesis writing. Before, there were no thesis writers in the MBA, but you can focus on this, entrepreneurial skills, small business management. For those in the hotel and restaurant, for the MSHM, you can consider green economy, social policy, sustainable responsible tourism, food safety, security, etc. For those who are in the MLIS, in the library, you might consider online library resources or information literacy education. For the HE, you might focus on food, public health, nutrition, so these are the references that I have used for the research agenda. So thank you very much. If you have questions, we will entertain them later. Thank you. Okay, back to you, Clint.
Thank you very much, Dr. Napierino, for presenting to us once again the school's vision, mission, as well as our quality policy and the content for the research agenda. Alright, at this point in time, we will be introduced to the learning management system that Lourdes College is using at the moment in this new way of learning. And with this is our resource person and LMS team representative of the school. We have Mr. Carl Nino Bondok, who will share to us how you can avail, especially of the student portal, and of course our learning management system. Sir Carl?
Good morning everyone, praise be Jesus and Mary. Today I'll be presenting to you the use of Google Classroom as the official learning management system of Lourdes College and the use of student portal. So Google Classroom is a web-based platform developed by Google for schools. Teachers can create and distribute quizzes, assignments, and materials, as well as grade the students' performance. It has an easier transmission and processing of files from teachers to students and vice versa. Students can get their grades, gather feedback, and see the resources shared by students and teachers in the classes. So here's a quick tour on how to use Google Classroom as a student. So you can see that here are the classes that the student is enrolled. So in this case, I am only enrolled in one class. As I click the class, it will link you to the stream. The stream acts like the news feeds of Facebook. This is where you can see the postings made by the students and the teachers. You can also collaborate, or communicate through the comment section. Aside from the stream, you can see classwork. The classwork is where all of your assignments and quizzes are posted by your teachers. So you can see there is a topic, week 1, and under week 1, here are the materials that the teachers are sharing for your class. If you click on the assignment, you can see the details or the instructions. And you can click view assignment to have more view of the assignment details. You can also see a rubric that it was posted by your teacher. And you can submit your work under this area. Once you click add or create, you can have more options where you can get it from Google Drive, from a link, from a file, or from your computer, or you just create it from Google Docs, slides, sheets, and drawings. Once you click on one of these, for example, Google Docs, it will generate the document for you, and as well as open the document for you where you can edit your answer or your assignment. For in this case, it will give you the document where you can edit. Once you're done, just click on the Turn In button. Automatically, this will submit your output to that specific assignment. You can also turn in when you go back to Google Classroom in case that there are problems with the Turn In button here. Aside from that, you can also see Google Calendar where all of your schedules as well as the classes when you will meet will be posted. So here, all the activities are posted under My Class. Aside from that, you can see a Class Drive folder. The Class Drive folder serves as your storage in case you want a backup for your file. All of the files that you uploaded and created in the class will be uploaded here. You can also upload your own file, and the file that you have uploaded for this class can only be seen by you unless you have given an authority to share it to your classmates or to your teachers. Aside from classwork, there is the People tab. The People tab will list down all the students and teachers that are under this class. You can see there's one teacher and there are 17 students currently enrolled. You can also email directly to the student by clicking on the email button. Aside from that, under the main menu, you can also have the to-do list where it will list down all the activities that were posted on the classes that you were enrolled. You can see here assigned, the one that you will be doing, missing, the one that you have missed to submit, and done, where you have submitted all the activities required for that class. And that's how the Google Classroom will work as a student. We are currently subscribed to the G Suite for Education Enterprise Edition. The G Suite for Education is a suite of Google tools and services that are tailored for schools and homeschools, and which is currently happening at the moment. We are enrolled through an online class. And with the subscription, we can have our own domain, which is the LCCDO. So each student and personnel is assigned to an LCCDO email, which is at lccdo.edu.ph. The emails were already given to you, but there are still some who did not receive yet their email. It is an institutional-wide email where from IBED, grade school, senior high school, college, and graduate school will be using this email. So why is it we need to use the LCCDO email? First, for data security. This is in compliance with the Data Privacy Act of 2012. Since we are using our personal details, such as our name and the email, when we are enrolled in class, therefore we need to protect your information from unwanted access of data. Aside from that, the communication is centralized. If there are announcements from offices, you can receive it through email under the LCCDO. And lastly, technical support. When we are subscribed to the G Suite, there is a G Suite admin where he or she can control all the accounts as well as check if there are problems that the teachers and students will encounter. So if in case you have problems, the technical support under the G Suite admin can help you with that. If in case you are using your personal Gmail, the technical support cannot give you the help since there are some limitations set by Google itself. So we encourage everyone to make use of the LCCDO email. So here are some of the Google G Suite apps that you can use. First, the Classroom, which was discussed a while ago. Second is Gmail, which is used to send and receive emails within the organization or outside the organization. You can access it through gmail.com. Google Drive is where you can store your files and share it across multiple devices and users. You can access it to drive.google.com. Google Meet is the video conferencing app that we are using when we have online meetings. The Google Meet has been integrated in Gmail, Calendar, and Google Chat. You can access it via meet.google.com. Google Chat is an instant and secured messaging communication tool that is only exclusive to those who are subscribed to the G Suite. So we encourage everyone to make use of Google Chat when communicating with your classmates and teachers. You can access Google Chat via chat.google.com. Aside from that, we also have Google Calendar. Google Calendar is where you can schedule events, set personal reminders, and other schedules that you want to set for your meetings or personal activities. Google Meet is also integrated within Google Calendar. You can access it through calendar.google.com. Aside from that, we have Google Docs, which you can use to create documents, and all the documents that were created will be stored online. Google Sheets, you can create spreadsheets or computations. And Google Slides, where you can create your presentation. All of this can be edited, shared, and stored online. To access Google Docs, you can just type docs.google.com. For Sheets, that's sheets.google.com. And Slides, for slides.google.com. You also have Forms, which can be used for survey, and this is also integrated in our Google Classroom when we take a quiz. So you can also create your survey or quizzes via Google Forms. You can access it via forms.google.com. Google Keep is another helpful tool for students since this is a note-taking service created by Google. You can create reminders, make to-do lists, or take down notes when you are in a class. Lastly, the Jamboard. The Jamboard is the interactive digital whiteboard created by Google. This can be used for simultaneous writing with students and other people that are invited in the Jamboard. You can access it via jamboard.google.com. So there are some features happening within Google Meet that will be coming soon. So here are the features that were being developed by Google and will be launched sometime in September and October or later this year, such as a larger view options to see up to 49 students at once, the collaborative whiteboard, the checking of attendance, the breakout rooms for groupings, as well as setting that requires the teachers to join first, to end meeting, to disable chat, to restrict who can present, and to manage the request who will join the meeting. It also includes the hand-raising feature and the Q&A features, which will be launched later this year. So you can access the LCCDO email through gmail.com or mail.lccdo.edu.ph. The email format is first name.last name at lccdo.edu.ph. If in case you have two first names, like this for example, Anthony J. De La Cruz, just place in your email as anthony.delacruz@lccdo.edu.ph. Your temporary password will be college07312020. So here are some online etiquettes. Number 1, dress up properly. Avoid wearing sleeveless or messy hair when joining the meetings. Be aware of surroundings, especially if you have chickens that will sound or dogs, or even your friends or families inside your homes, to avoid any distractions during the meeting. Be respectful with your people around the meeting, especially to your teachers. If you want to ask something, please course it through the chat box. Turn off microphone when you are not talking. This is to avoid any disruptions from the classes. Avoid eating when you are in meeting. This is in respect for those people who are in the meeting and trying to focus on the class. Be on or before the time for the meeting so that you cannot distract the teacher when you are entering the class. When presenting, be careful of the content to be shared. So there might be instances where there are sensitive information where you accidentally shared in your class. So as an advice, please close all unnecessary applications so that there will not be any incidents of unwanted sharing of contents to the class. Minimize the distractions, especially your phones or any sounds around your environment. Ask permission to speak. You can ask permission through the Google Chat or the chat under Google Meet. And speak clearly and polite. Always look at the camera when you try to speak. This is assuming that you are inside the classroom and you are speaking in front of your class. So let's move on to the use of Student Portal. The Student Portal is used by students to check their grades, which they can view the final grades, and the grades will only reflect if the financial accounts are already settled in the finance office. Aside from checking of grades, you can also use it to view your examination permit and monitor the clearance status. You can access it through student.lccdo.edu.ph using the username ID number, which is found in your assessment form, and the temporary password, which is clear #2021. Once you are logged in, you are required to change the password immediately. So here is a quick demonstration on the use of the Student Portal. So this is the link, the student.lccdo.edu.ph, and you will log in using your ID number and the password assigned. Automatically, once you have successfully logged in, you can check your grades by school year and semester. You can also check the permit status. It will only reflect once you are settled in the finance office. And lastly, the clearance status, where you can check your status for the clearance, your accounts payable,
Hello,
as
Glenn.
well as you can send
Glenn.
receipts to the finance
Glenn.
office. So if you have any problems and concerns, please course it through lms.team@lccdo.edu.ph. There are 4 people responsible in answering you when you email us to lms.team. The people consist of Mr. Jean-Bert Estroga, the ITC coordinator of Lourdes College, Mr. Jason Bongo as the staff, Michael Acropra as the staff for the IBED, and yours truly, Carlene Bondok, one of the faculty that is under the LMS team. Or you can access or communicate with us through Google Chat. You can use lcoa@lccdo.edu.ph to talk with us regarding with your problems on your account. So that's it. Thank you everyone for listening, and God bless.
Thank you very much, Sir Carl Nino, our LMS team representative, for presenting to us the learning management system that our school is using. And hopefully you're able to also take down notes on the kind of LMS that we are using, so that if you have questions relative to the use of such LMS, then you can be present your questions to it can be to the graduate school secretary or to the LMS team representative in the person of Sir Carl Nino Bondo. All right, thank you very much, Sir Carl, once again. At this point in time, may I request now our Vice President for Academic Affairs and the Dean of the Graduate School to present to us the Graduate School academic policies. Ma'am Jude?
Hey, good morning, everyone. I think there are two terms, two languages that have emerged now. Can you see the text on the screen, or can you hear me? All right, so it's there now. Would you be able to see that? So good morning once again, dear students of the graduate school. Welcome to this school year, 2020-2021. So I'd like to request, even if we don't see each other face to face, but we may be able to see each other at least through the camera. So let's just begin the day with a smile. You smile to yourself. See, once we smile, the world will smile at us back. So today, I would like to present some policies. There are two things that I would like to present today. The first one is on the picture, the image. You call it our graduate attributes. What are expected of a graduate of Lourdes College, especially in the graduate school? And the second one, I also would like to share with you some policies which you need to know, because these things are actually printed in our student handbook, but out of our business, seldom do we even leave the pages of our handbook. But before that, I'd like to announce, by the way, that graduate school, you already have 2 secretaries in the graduate school. So you could contact either Miss Doris, and the other one there is Miss Lences Torres. So these are the 2 people that will be assisting you in the graduate school now. We see the need of really adding another human resource in the graduate school. It is because it's like a call center now. No, there are a lot of calls, there are a lot of text messages, etc. So we need also to augment our human resource requirement. Okay, so I'd like to begin with, we call it institutional learning outcome. But this actually would describe to us what kind of picture, what kind of image, what kind of graduates would we really like to see, after finishing 2 or 3 years with us. So the graduate attributes are actually anchored on the school's core values. Those of you who are connected in any organization, we have MBA students here, top-notcher in terms of enrollment, because you are almost 100. I think 100 now, followed by courses in home economics, even in hospitality management, and of course the rest are into education. So we have the same attributes, we have the same characteristics that we would like to see for our graduates. And again, it will go back to the core values of the school, which is faith, service, and excellence. Those of you who are in the academe, those of you who are in the business organizations, we see the need, I said in my class, that's always the advocacy that I make. You see to it that you really know the core values of your organization, if it's a school or any business organization, because this is our template. This is the reason. And this is our guide. It would guide us actually on how we behave, how we think in our organization. So there are actually key areas. There are 6. And you would know that in every characteristic or every attribute, it's always hooked on the school's core value. So this is number 1. You would like to see graduates. You see the person there making the prayer on a prayer mood. Somebody who really has a deep trust and faith in God. Especially this time, because no amount of money, no amount of how much do you have at the bank or properties that you have. The pandemic now is really teaching us to go to the basic and really have we entrust everything to Him. We entrust everything to our God. So we would like to see a graduate with a deep trust, the deep relationship with our God, regardless of religion or whatever denomination or whatever faith we have. But I'd like to believe that we have the same God, we belong to the same God. Yeah, deep trust. Another one, excellence. We would like to see graduates. Now, those of you who are in the academe, we share the same, advocacy. These are the skills, these are the graduates that are expected of us. Why do we teach? We would like to teach our students to be critical thinkers. We would like our students to be creative. Right now, we see creativity is no longer an option. Creativity is a must. We would like our students to be innovative using a very important tool, which is IT. So this is part of the excellence thrust. And not only that, we see a person who has a graduate of Lourdes College, somebody who has a deep relationship with his or her God, somebody who has the critical thinking, analytical, creative thinking, and of course, proficiency on the use of information technology. We also would like to see a graduate who has a social, ethical responsibility, and civic consciousness. So, my dear students, it's not just about how intellectual we are, how proficient we are in communication, but more so, education. What is education for? We always would like to, of course, practice social and ethical responsibility, and we always would like to give back to what is due to our community. So that's under the area of service. And of course, collaboration and communication. You know, this is really the key. Teachers are no longer, gone were those days when teachers are the only source of knowledge. But no longer now, because the call of the time is really collaboration. We need to collaborate with other agencies. We need to collaborate with other students. We need to strengthen our communication with other students. So you see, in our class, you even would hear students saying, "Ma'am," because it so happened that most of your faculty, we have a good mix of our faculty. We have people in the senior citizen, people with their wisdom, and of course, we also have young people. It's a good mix. So, you know, learning is actually an exchange. No, you just don't get learning from us. We also learn from you. So we really do not expect, especially that we are entering into the VUCA world. Everything has become so highly volatile. Those of you in the public school, it was announced earlier that your class would start somewhere in August 24, but now we heard another pronouncement that your class would begin on sometime October. So everything is highly volatile. It has become so ambiguous. VUCA, you, what is you? Uncertainty. You know, there may be a lot of uncertainties that we see now. What you see, it's getting so complex. It's also getting ambiguous. This is the kind of world that we live now. So all the more we really need to collaborate and to communicate instead of just, blaming people. Instead of passing the buck, the call of the time is collaboration and communication. And again, this attribute here would be more on the enhancement of your personal, your professional competence. For what? It is always for better service. So this number 5 characteristic is actually a combination of the 3 key areas, the core values of the school, which is faith, service, and excellence. And the one that I enumerated a while ago, are actually the skills of the 21st century. So the lifelong learning and the career skills. So you would know this could be the reason why you continue enrolling despite the pandemic, despite the complexity of the situation, because we believe that education is really lifelong learning. As you call it, determination to face responsibilities in the complex realities of life using our competencies for what? Of course, to advance human welfare. So that's it. Those are the attributes. From the attributes, I'd like to make it clear to our students from the attributes. This is what we would like to see of our graduates. This has to be translated into the program outcomes. So we also have set of program outcomes, and from the program outcomes, you will also have your course outcomes. And your teachers in your respective subjects, even in the modules that we are giving to you, you would be seeing there the learning outcomes. What are expected of you? What set of behavior, set of attitudes, and sets of skills that are expected of you in a particular subject. So you see, it's not just about excellence. We would like to see graduates who are critical, innovative, creative, plus graduates with character. Character. Somebody who knows how to flex. Somebody who knows to adjust. No? Even if probably we are the president or the supervisors in our school or in our organization, but when we get out of our own shell, when we get out of our nest and relate with other organizations, graduates of Lourdes College would be able to adjust. Graduates of Lourdes College would be able to practice flexibility. We are not telling you that you do not talk at all, that you just have to take it all. But you see, what is important is you would be able to assert, you would be able to say things with tact and prudence. But we would like you to really express yourselves. So this is the kind of the image. These are the characteristics that we would like to see, and we would like to dream, and we would like to approximate for our graduates in the Lourdes College Graduate School. So I'd like to proceed now to our policies. Just to refresh all of us, there may be some students who are enrolling in a program like you are a graduate of business and suddenly you would like to shift to major in English. You know, another thing that we also have to take into account is alignment. So if you are a graduate of business ad, then definitely you go to the business ad. You do not go to educational management. So alignment. If in case the course, your undergrad course, your bachelor's course is not aligned, there are bridging subjects that you need to enroll. So I indicated there 12, some even have 9, some have 18. However, if you are already working and if you could see that there are certificates that would prove that you have been practicing, more or less you know the basic competencies of the course that you would like to pursue, we also do credit. That means we reduce the number of bridging units that you would take. But again, it should be evidence-based. There has to be some, there should be some certificates, there should be some certification coming from your business organization or your organization. Okay, I'd like to emphasize the second one. Student with a grade of 2.25, you might say, ma'am, that's passing. We really do not put a 5. But when you get a 225 in any of the subjects, that would mean you have to retake the subject. What for? What for? Of course, it's just simple. We would like you to really gain proficiency on the competencies that are supposed to be mastered in that subject. So 225. Those of you, you take a look. Now, I would like all of us to really be, we need to manage our own learning. When I say manage your own learning, that would mean that you look at your grades. You don't have to wait for the secretary to tell you, sir, you have to retake, ma'am, you have to retake this. Kindly take a look at your grades. Take a look at the INCs. Especially the INCs. There are those that would claim we are already done, and it so happened that it's already over 1 year. So this is the appeal that I would like all graduate students to do. Finish the semester with no INCs. finish it within the semester. So whatever requirements that are lacking or exams, see to it that you're able to finish that. Okay? Now, we also have cases like in the past, this has been so prevalent, like you go to school now, later on you stop, go to school now, you stop, and eventually you realize that you are now on your 7th year. If that happens, you know the consequence, you are going to retake all the subjects that you have taken during the last 7 years because you are only given that span of time. Okay, so I hope that's clear. But I'm very happy with the trend now because most of our students, a number of our students are able to finish the degree program within the year. No, not within the year. Within 2 years, sometimes after 2 years or within the 3rd year. So I'd like to commend. We have a number of young people like us, who were able to finish the program within the target frame. So it should not be more than 7 calendar years. Now, we have implemented this 7 years ago. Kasi in the past, after the defense, okay, out the march. No longer. You can only be declared a full-fledged graduate if you are able to submit your book-bound thesis and if you're already cleared. So, no, of course, we cannot talk about graduation rights now unless we'll have mock graduation. But I don't think we will be doing that. Okay? So what is important is TOR will be given to you after you have submitted the required book. Okay, that's what we mean. No book, no graduation. All right? I think I already said this. No, you have to repeat the whole thing. Okay, comprehensive exam. All right. Now, this is what I mean. You really need to look at your grades. Because sometimes you have cases like, oh, you have not yet. You said you're done with the grade, but why is it that there is none here? Again, that is a sign that you did not see the grade. You really have to ask, no, after the term, is my grade there? But of course, I think you could not have access unless you are able to settle your clearance. No? Kasi almost everything that you're doing now is done through online. So that's the comprehensive exam. And all right, this is very important. Even if it is online, you see to it that when you withdraw, you have to do it officially. So there is Emil Ad. Okay, the registrar's Emil Ad and Sister May, our head registrar, would be even giving the, her Emil Ad, so that you'll be able to officially drop or officially withdraw. You know why? Because this has something to do with your fees. If you're able to attend the class, one meeting, you have to pay 70% of that. No? These are general provisions. But this is how critical it is that withdrawals, should you have friends, please ask them to really withdraw so that they will not be charged. There might come a time that you would like to go to school again and you would be needing credentials. And lo and behold, you realize that there are still fees that you would be paying. So that is how important official withdrawal is, no? Even if it is done online. If before you started, you have given the fees and then the classes have not started, you cannot really get the whole thing, but the school will be charging you at least the registration fee. So these are some things, no, that we really have to do. Kasi sometimes it may be very, what do you call it? No value at all, but later on it can be an irritant, and we would like to lessen stress. We would like to lessen tension, especially in this time of pandemic. So you see, that's there. That's it. No refund will be given after the second week of classes. All right. I indicated here, if a student withdraws their enrollment after 1 month, the classes have started, she will pay the total amount for the semester. So the 1 month in the graduate school would mean 2 meetings, 2 Saturdays, 2 Saturdays for the particular to have the 1 month. Okay, I know in your schedule of classes you're also given this, but I'd like to remind you, September 26 and 27, this is the midterm exam. So I'd like to remind all of us, even if there is no more provision for special exam because everything is done online, we would like to ask you to really present your e-permit to your faculty. You know why? When they would be submitting the grades to the registrar, they would not also be submitting your grades. They would not be submitting the grades to the registrar if you are not able to submit the e-permit to the faculty. So these are some policies that we are also observing here, as faculty of the graduate school. October 3 and 4, that's Saturday, Sunday, second batch. Kasi you have 2 batches. Yung first batch, those people who meet rather on the first meeting, that's August 1, then the succeeding Saturday, that's the succeeding batch. So final examination, we'll be ending our classes on December 5 and 6. So that's the final exam. 5 and 6, then December 12 and 13, that would also be the exam for the second batch. Okay, we'd like to take time. This is a very important announcement. You might would like to get your cameras and put it there in your storage so you will not forget. Okay. So, I would like to, I don't like to expound more, but I just would like to mention this because it's very important. Academic honesty. Everything is done online. In all the outputs that you'll be submitting, this is always one of the criteria. So it's just plain and simple. If the information is taken from a source, because there's no harm if you take it from a source, acknowledge the source. So you need that if you get this information, or even you use this when you answered your reflection, when you were coming up with a narrative or even a case analysis, there's no harm in putting the source. This is part of the intellectual honesty that we would like to build in our school, despite the pandemic. So it's just that. Homeworks, assignments, papers, examinations, if you are getting information from other source, one thing that you have to remember, acknowledge the source. You can have in-text citation there, and you can also have references at the bottom of your paper, the one that you'll be submitting to your faculty. So actually, these are all reminders, so I need not expound this. You would know that I'd like to emphasize this because we have cases of, cheating also during exams. And these are things. And one of this, again, is inadvertently, wala tuyua. Wala tuyua. The student got a paper which is not hers. But this is a crime. And this will also be dealt with accordingly. So if a faculty, if we see rather that there is plagiarism that is happening complete, then by all means, we could not allow you to take the compress. So that's automatic. You will fail in the exam. In some, in our student handbook, it's even an admission. But we would like to extend compassion this time. That is why we opted for a humane way, just for all of us to learn our lessons. Okay, so I think that's the one that I'm saying. I'd like to close this sharing with a quote I got from Anthony Angelo. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. So I would like to thank thank you, and I would like to congratulate all of you for continuing your learning and for deciding and for your trust to the Lourdes College Graduate School. If there are concerns from the office, we have two people, I repeat, plus of course my office. Feel free to call them, text them, messenger. We have provided avenues where you will be able to call us. So thank you very much. I don't know, Mr. Clem, if we would be entertaining questions now. We have been seated actually for almost an hour now. So those of you who are there at their homes, I am in my office now in Lourdes College, Capistrano. That is my location. Those of you in your respective homes, you can stand, you can stretch a little bit so that we'll be able to maintain our sanity and stretch. You stretch your legs there at home. Okay, you stand for a while. There may be some questions, Sir Clint, that you would like to hear. We would like to hear from our students. Sir Clint? So thank you very much. I hope everyone is still there. This is the reason why in our class, we like our students to switch off their microphones and switch on the camera. We would like to see faces in the camera. So that is a signal for us to know if you are already tired. So we can do something. Okay, break for a while. And then you can, how many seconds? Okay, let's have a break. That is the reason for asking you to switch on your camera every time you enter your class. All right, so that is it now. I'd like to return the floor to our Assistant Promotions and Marketing Coordinator, Sir Clint, but you're using Carl Nino Bondok's account. Okay, Mr. Balapa, I am done. Are we open for some questions now? Go ahead, Sir Clint.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chavez, for that very comprehensive presentation of the graduate school academic policies, especially that in the presentation that you had a while ago, you also gave us this background on the institutional learning outcomes to the program outcomes and course outcomes. Okay, thank you very much for that, Dr. Chavez. By the way, questions will be entertained later during the open forum, and we request our viewers from the graduate school to place their questions in our Slido, which is now presented on your screens. Take a look at your screens, and then later on we will be inviting our resource persons, our speakers, for the open forum, which will happen not too soon. So may I request that you stay with us and be with us in this entire orientation. Okay? And so to present also to us at this point in time the school services or the student services that we will be offering for our graduate school students despite this new way of learning, may I request our Dean of the Student Affairs and faculty also of the graduate school in the person of Dr. Revina O. Mendoza. Dr. Vina?
Good morning, praise be Jesus and Mary. This morning, I will be presenting to you the student services that you, dear graduate school students, will be availing despite of this pandemic. So, practically, the student services that I'll be sharing with you will be more of the guidance, the campus ministry, and as well as the health services. So, if you take a look at your assessment form, there are some services that you are paying. So these are the services that we're offering to you. One is on the guidance services. So its objective is to promote a culture of awareness, support, and sense of belongingness. So the guidance staff created the official FB page, and you can have whatever concerns that you will have. Please log on to or follow the Lourdes College Guidance and Counseling Center as the official page for the guidance services. And furthermore, one of the program or objectives will be on assisting faculty and administrators in understanding clients' characteristics and enhance academic interventions, and as well as facilitating emotional wellness and culture of support to teachers, students, and parents. So we do teleconsultation and the referral services. We also have the mental health psychosocial support, or we call it the psychological first aid, or the PFA, and we will have online trainings. And in case you need this or the guidance services, you can just call in. Other than following the FB, you can call the guidance staff at 857-1423. Local is going to be 122. So those are the services rendered by the guidance office. The next one is campus ministry. And our host for today is our campus ministry coordinator. We invite the Catholics to be with us or to join us in our daily rosary via live streaming through LC Campus Ministry page in the Facebook. We also have online Eucharistic celebration, just like last Saturday when we celebrated our feast of the feast of the Our Lady of Assumption. We had that mass, and we will be having lecture series. This is more on the faculty and spiritual enrichment, both personnel and students. For graduate school, there will be a webinar on spirituality in this new normal come September. So we will be coordinating with the Office of the Vice President for Academic Affairs for the schedule of this webinar on spirituality in this new normal. For concerns, you can call our campus ministry coordinator at 857-1423. Local is 231. Then we go into the health center. So these are the services that our health center is offering. So we have the medical consultation. The nurse will be having of course, the health scheduling for health screening. It can be either online and teleconsultation. And of course, she will also have a way of monitoring the students and the personnel. And if there are cases that are referred to her and that need the experts or the specialist expert, of course, the nurse will refer the case to the expert. Like we have a link with Maria Reina Xavier University Hospital, and we also have our own physician in the person of Dr. Hakutin, and our dental will be Dr. Varias. So we have dental consultation that can also be online, and we will have the health teachings or webinars, especially in the undergrad, and of course health education, prevention program, counseling, and safety information. For teleconsultation, we can direct you to, or you can have this number, 0906-952-4940, if you have some health concerns, and the nurse will be gladly answering your queries. And if you would like to have a landline, you can call her at 857-1423. Local is 232. Practically, these are the three services that the school can offer to you. And I hope everything is clear. And should you have any questions, please write them in the Slido or the link that is given to you. And with that, I would say thank you and stay safe, everyone. Praise be Jesus and Mary.
Now and forever. Thank you very much, Dr. Ravina O. Mendoza, for your presentation of the student services, specifically for the graduate school program. All right? And so, it is very important that we know our services, especially that of the student services, so that from time to time, during your vacant time as well, you can interact with us, especially with the office that Dr. Vina Mendoza mentioned a while ago, the health center, the campus ministry office, and also the guidance office. All right. So, at this point in time, Okay, this is an important aspect of our orientation today because a while ago, Dr. Judith C. Chavez gave us a very comprehensive presentation on the academic policies, no, of the in the graduate school. At this point in time, we will be oriented on how, okay, we will be assessed, no, through the use of our grading system, our online classroom management, the policies, the protocols, and guidelines that we have to observe every now and then during our synchronous discussions as well as in our asynchronous, no, online learning. And with this, we have Dr. Crescenti Ixor P. Barcelona, the Dean of the Teacher Education Program, who is also at the same time the Quality Assurance Coordinator and of course the Promotions and Marketing Coordinator, to present to us the grading system, the online classroom management policies and guidelines. Okay? But before that, may I ask if Sir X is just doing fine there? How are you, Dr. Barcelona?
Sir Clint, doing well here. I hope that despite the gloomy weather outside, we can still continue with our broadcast. I know that every time that there would be a weather disturbance, our internet connectivity would also go slow. So I hope that we can still continue despite the weather disturbance outside.
Okay, no, Sir X, you made mention about the internet connectivity, and hopefully through this presentation they would be able to have a glimpse or an idea on how they can still go about their online learning despite the disturbance. All right, Dr. Crescenti Barcelona will now explain to us the grading system, the online classroom management policies and guidelines. Dr. Barcelona, take it away.
Thank you very much, Sir Clint. We welcome all the new students to our school, our graduate school. We also would like to welcome back our old students in Lourdes College, where we nurture your faith, develop your attitudes for humble service, and build your passion for excellence. So, to begin with, allow me to present to you certain assumptions that Lourdes College has in terms of our grading system. Our outcomes-based education is focused on, emphasizes rather, on the performance-based assessment, where it demonstrates students' learning in authentic and realistic setting. We also believe that assessment guides the development of every learner and can enhance student engagement and motivation. So how are the graduate school students assessed? In this new normal, we have prescribed components as corresponding with as follows. Performance-based assessment or learning outcomes is 70%, and the term examination is 30%, which gives us a total of 100%. So how are we going to compute? We get first the total score from all the entries in the component. The components are here. It's corresponding
All right, we will go back to Dr. Barcelona later. No, we are still fixing some glitches in our system. Anyway, as a reminder again, the open forum will happen after the talk of Dr. Crescenti Ixor P. Barcelona, And we suggest, or we enjoin all our students to place your questions in our Slido, so that later on in our open forum we would be able to address your questions. And it is very important that you raise your questions now, while we have not yet taken our exams, no? Especially that in this new way of learning, we will be having really a lot of things to do, no? A lot of adjustments, a lot of familiarization, especially with the use of our learning management system, that of the Google Classroom. And hopefully your teachers were able to also journey with you, no, in our Google Classroom. Also with our the use of our Google Meet, no? Our teachers are using this online platform, this Google Meet, during online or synchronous online discussions. And so the talk will give us, this orientation will give us that idea on how we can go about these things. And that is why we highly request, we appeal to our students to raise now your questions in our Slido, so that that can be addressed, and that you would be able to sleep properly later, no? So, and also our Dean of Student Affairs, our Vice President for Academic Affairs, the Quality Assurance Coordinator will be here with us later to interact with you, to answer your questions, and to address those things that are for you a bit confusing, and that you find difficulty in adjusting to this new way of learning. Especially that there are perhaps concerns about our LCCDO accounts. Then later on, our LMS representative will be interacting with us on how we can access our LCCDO email accounts. Okay, and so once again, we highly request you, and we would be very happy to see your questions. That would mean also that you are indeed very much participative and attentive in our orientation today, no? And later on also with the services, like relative to the campus ministry, I will be very ready to answer also your queries. And we would be very happy also if you connect with us, contact us relative to your needs spiritually, emotionally, and when it comes to our health, health concerns, and so on and so forth. All right, so we again welcome our presenter, Dr. Crescenti Exurpi Barcelona, to again present to us the grading system, and the online classroom management policies and guidelines. Dr. Barcelona.
Thank you very much, Sir Ken. I apologize. I had some technical glitches here. But nonetheless, allow me to just review a bit the prescribed components and the corresponding weight on how the students will be graded. For the performance-based assessment and learning outcomes, we have 70%. For the term examinations, that's 30%, which gives us a total score of 100%. So, how do we get the grades again? First, we get the total score from all the entries in the component. So as you can see on your screen, we have the components, the PBA, and the term examination, and its corresponding weight to 70% and 30%, which gives us a total of 100%. For example, if we have the sample score of 50 points for performance-based assessment and 70 points for term examinations. So how do we compute to get the weighted score? First, we use this formula. X is equals to student score times weight divided by total score, where X is the weight score, the student score is the score of a particular student, and the weight is the percentage in the distribution, and the total score is the total score of each component. So, given for example that we have the sample earlier, 50 points for the performance base and 70 points for the term examination, if the scores of the students is 40 out of 50, so we get the weighted score later. And then for example, the score of the student for term examination is 50 over 70.
So if we will compute that one using again the same formula, our score would be 56 for performance-based assessment and 21.43 for term examination, which gives us a total of 77.43. From the 77.43, we try to compare it, or we try to locate that one in our table. And if you can see on your screens right now, you would know that 77.43 is equivalent, what will have a grade point index of 1.5, equivalent to very satisfactory. That would be all, Sir Glenn. Back to you.
All right. No, thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Crescenti Ixur Barcelona, for your presentation on the grading system. Especially that we would really expect, no, that our grading system would be a bit different from the ones that we had during the normal school year or normal semester. All right. No. I also believe that you already have with you your questions now, and again, we highly request that you post that one in our Slido, so that again, we can address that one right then and there, during our open forum. And we will be inviting our resource speakers, like our Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Judith C. Chavez, who is actually with us already in this session, to also answer your queries and your questions relative to the talk of Dr. Chavez, or to other concerns that may affect our life in Lourdes College. And also, joining us in our open forum is the Quality Assurance Coordinator and the Promotions and Marketing Coordinator, Dr. Crescenti Ixur P. Barcelona.
Hello,
Right.
good morning.
Okay. I hope you can all see us, no?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I need to remove this so that they can hear me clearly.
All right. Okay. So once again, we welcome.
Physical distancing.
Yeah.
We'd like to welcome our 200 plus viewers right now, our graduate school students who have been with us consistently since we started. We already had 200 plus, and until this time we still have 200 plus. And we also was able to notice that in our Slido account there are already a number of questions that are there. So we might as well start with our question and answer, Sir Glenn. I'm sure Dr. Chavez will be able to answer relative to those that practically all of the questions. But I would
Yes.
assist Dr. Chavez in this case,
Okay.
right?
Okay. And if the questions are relative to the use of LMS, our representative,
Yes.
okay,
yes.
will address this concern or question. All right. I think we are already, ma'am.
Yeah.
First question, Sir Glenn.
First, I think you announced earlier that Sir X, would still talk about our policies for online management. Now, this policy actually is given to all your faculty, and all of you would know that the moment you open your gadget, you always have to come in your microphone, switch it in silent mode, and the cameras should be open. I think I said that in my piece a while ago. The reason why we need to see your faces. You see, our environment is different now, unlike in the face-to-face that we can have a full view of all the students. But
Indeed.
now, it's quite limited. At least we can have a glimpse of how you are in your respective homes, whether you're already very tired or whatever. So this is the reason why we would like the cameras to be switched on. However, if there are some problems, technical problems at home, and you cannot really switch on the camera, because if you switch it on, you will be out. So people naman would tell us, "Ma'am, I cannot switch on my camera because of some technical problems at home." That would be all right, no? That's one. But I would like to just reinforce what Dr. Napieri said a while ago about the research agenda. Now, what is that research agenda for? That is for the academic community.
those of you who are in thesis writing, you know, one of the problems that sometimes you encounter is you do not have a problem. So, one source where you would be able to have a problem for your thesis is to go to the research agenda. So, the RPDO, the Research and Planning and Development Office, have the listing so that more or less you'll be given an idea on what problem to pursue for your research. And I think there is a question over there about
Yes, ma'am. No?
certificate of enrollment.
Enrollment, yes,
okay,
ma'am.
definitely, yes. You can always request, you know the number of Doris and lenses this time, there are 2 of them. You can just PM them so that we'll be able to, you know, prepare the certificate of enrollment that you need. Okay, no problem about that.
Not only the certificate of
Yeah.
enrollment, but also if you need assistance in terms of your subjects, in terms of the codes of your respective subjects, together along with your professors, Miss Doris and Miss Lenses would be very happy to assist you. I know we have broadcasted already the numbers that the number of the graduate school office. You can just simply call them, and they're very much willing to assist you on your requests or on your inquiries. I think, Sir Clint, we still have other questions.
Yes, another question is relative to the use of online library. Do we have an online library, Sir Rex? And how can they access it?
Yes, we have an online library. Thank you very much for that question. This is very interesting because what we have now is that we have transformed our library practically into online world. And in order for you to be assisted with our online library, all you need to do is you go to the Facebook account of LC Learning Commons, where they will give you all the details relative to the online educational resources, as well as the online, the library, what's the LIRA again? Library
Research assistant.
Lira.
LIRA, Library Research Assistant. Yes, the LIRA, where you can actually ask in there what are those things that you need, and they will respond to you given 2 or 3 days max. So you can simply go again to the Facebook account of our Learning Commons. That's LC
Learning
Commons, and you will be able. They are actually giving updates almost every week.
Yes.
Relative to what are those new books that we have acquired, what are those new open online resources that we have, and how can we best access in there. There's also an orientation video in the Facebook account of the Learning Commons, so that they will be guided through how they will be able to use our online library.
You know, Sir Clint, other than that, we also asked the library coordinator, Dr. Ritazo, to really get into your specific classes to have an not an enrollment, to have an orientation on how you would go about these things, no? You still could not understand what was posted in the FB account,
Yes.
the video tutorials. We are asking the people here in the library, we are in the library right now, to really go into the respective classes for orientation, and so that you'd also be able to ask them questions, especially on the house.
Yes. Although you won't be able to come here physically, but practically the Learning Commons staff will assist you all throughout in your research endeavors.
Now, there is also a provision in the library where you might be asking, can we also borrow books? There
Yes,
is
ma'am.
also a provision for that, no? I think the library placed a box there. There is
Yes.
a box where they would just, after you have informed them that this is the book that you need, there is a box there, and then if you return them, well, there are SOPs. Before it gets inside the library, it stays outside for 3 days, etc.
For
So
disinfection.
these are our ways of reaching out to you, especially in terms of the learning resources that you need in your graduate program.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Move on to the next question, Sir
Okay,
Clay.
we proceed to the next question. I think this question is relative again to the use of the LCCDO domain. Why does the domain admin still keeps on changing our password even every time we have a new class, though we already personalize our passwords for our LC accounts? And I think the best person who can answer this would be our LMS team representative or
Sir,
anybody.
sorry?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can answer that.
The school, the administration, the LMS team is not actually changing the password. Once we only give the temporary password to the students. However, if these things would occur in your respective emails, what you can do best is to email lms.team@lccdo.edu.ph. Again, let me repeat that. That's lms.team@lccdo.edu.ph, and please explain in there what are these things that you are having a problem with in terms of your email or your LCCDO domain, and they would respond to you right there and then. So again, but let me just clear that, because once you have changed your password, actually the LMS team cannot anymore get through your email account.
Yes.
They cannot get through anymore once you have changed your password, and so we are only giving the temporary password. But again, if this would happen, because we don't know, there might be some glitches that we have not discovered yet, but as of the moment, what you can possibly do is please inform the LMS team through the email address that I have just given earlier.
But
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's there are cases when the temporary password does not warrant. So what would they do
What can they
if it's not accepted?
Yes, I have experienced that one with some of my
Yeah.
students. What I told them was to email the email account that I have given earlier, lms.team.lccdo.edu.ph, using their personalized email account, the one that is not in LCCDO. So if in case it will not work again, you can email the LMS team, because they are monitoring every day the queries relative to this, and then they respond immediately, so that you will be assisted right there and then relative to your LCCDO domain account.
Alright, no, at least we are rest assured that when you raise their questions to the LMS team, it will be answered right then and there. Alright, another question. Do we have a student ID for this semester? And to take the midterm exam, is there a minimum payment for the tuition fee, ma'am?
Yes. Before the ID, you can answer the
Yes,
ID.
yes.
Definitely there is an ID, but as to how, Dr. X will explain that.
Yes.
Okay.
But as to the question of the minimum payment of the tuition, thank you for raising this, by the way. In my piece a while ago, I was giving you the schedule of the exam.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, even if there is no more provision for special exam, but I said, because there are two terms, it's still the same thing. You still have to pay whatever financial accountabilities that you do. The same is true when you had your enrollment. You still have to send the payment through whatever form, no? Palawan or BPI or whatever. It's still the same process, but you still have to do it online.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if it's divided into three ba?
Two.
Oh,
Two, ma'am,
two
two.
lang. Oo, two. That would mean that more or less you would know how much they would pay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, if it's divided into two, then that would be the amount that you would spend that you would send to the school for the midterm. Now,
Just to be specific with
Okay.
that, ma'am.
Yeah,
In the
okay.
assessment form that you receive from the enrollment process, at the bottom left part, you will see in there the total amount that you are supposed to pay for midterm and finals. But it's not specified as to how much for midterm and how much for finals. But what you can do there is to divide that amount into two.
Yes.
That's what Dr. Chavez was saying earlier. You divide it into two, and then the first amount there will be your for midterm, and then the other one is for the final
Finals.
exams. So it's very easy. You can do that. You can pay through our Palawan Express
Yes,
Padala.
and that is posted already in our Lourdes College,
Facebook.
Cagayan de Oro City official Facebook page.
Yes, and what is good now with our Palawan Express Padala is we have formalized already our
Yes.
partnership with them, that all you need to do is just your ID number and also the name of the school when you send it to our Pera Padala. No need for going to a specific named person or a finance staff from our school so to write in there so that she will be able to assist. But automatically, once you have placed your ID number as well as your the name of the school, all Palawan Express branches have already recognized our numbers and our school, so automatically we can assist you right there and then. what happened in the past was it will take us 3 to 4 days for us to settle to
verify.
settle and verify everything, because you still have to get it there and so on and so forth. But now it's easier because we can easily locate through your ID number.
Yeah, and their ID numbers can be found in the
Assessment form.
assessment form.
If in
Okay.
case, because they're asking for the student ID,
Yes.
and the student ID number, while for those students who don't have yet their student ID number, the ID number is located in the upper right corner of your assessment form. For the new students, for the old students, you retain the same ID
Yes.
number. Okay? But with regards to the student ID for this semester, yes, you will have your student ID number. We will be announcing soon as to how it will be done, and through our official Facebook pages and through your respective LCCDO domain email accounts. So what we will be doing is we will give you instructions as to how we are going to make the ID and how are you going to get the ID. So please stay tuned. We will do that before the month ends. Practically, we have next week to give the details about how you can retrieve your ID. Again, let me just clarify those some areas there. Number 1, for your student ID number, it's in your assessment form. Number 2, for student ID, we will be announcing it via our Facebook and through your respective emails. Okay.
Okay,
So we have
thank you
another
very
question.
much. No, another question is relative to the 12 units. No, in the bridging program. The question is if she was able to already finish her 12 units, or she was able to enroll already in her 12 units for the bridging program, would that mean that she is through with her bridging, or is there a need for her or for him to submit documents, ma'am?
Okay, definitely. Now, the range of the bridging or the number of bridging subjects is dependent on the course. No, there are some courses that only have 12. Actually, I think the MBA is the one that is getting the highest. They have 18 units.
Yes.
No, but we are reducing that. Now, but it's not automatic. As what I said a while ago, if there are evidences like you have certificates that you have attended this training, parang online, not a training for 1 week, or certification coming from the organization stating the functions of your work, no? So these are actually the basis, my basis for crediting how many units more. But so it's not just automatic. It's not automatic.
Okay.
It is still dependent on the quality and the number of evidences that you would be able to present. So you just have to email these evidences. I think I already processed 1 or 2, and he said, yeah, instead of 12, okay, we'll only have 9, things like this.
Yes,
But again, my basis for assessing for the reduction of the number of units is on the certificates.
Yes.
On the certificate submitted.
All right. No, thank you so much, Dr. Chavez, for that enlightenment. Another question: may I know what are the requirements needed in the graduate school so that I can process it when we are already allowed to travel?
Okay.
Okay. I think this
It's
refers to the enrollment
Requirements.
requirements. Okay.
yeah.
For the enrollment requirements, you would need the following. Number 1, of course, we would need
Yeah.
your transcript of records. Along with your transcript of records is your honorable dismissal. We would also need your 2x2 picture for our registrar. They would need that one. I think these are the 2 basic requirements that we would like really to have our students to present upon enrollment. But right now, kasi what we are doing is we are delaying the submission of the
Submission.
requirements considering the pandemic. But these two things are very much needed: your TOR and your honorable dismissal, and some others like your birth certificate. We would need that, and if you're married, we would need your marriage certificate. We would also need that one. But that would be we will actually we have posted these requirements in our Facebook page, and as well as in our what do you call this one, in our
Official Facebook page.
our school website.
alright.
Okay, so we have posted that one. Just remember those 4 because those are the basic requirements.
Sir, may I ask if these documents are to be submitted as a hard copy or via online?
We would need it a hard copy
Okay.
because these are official documents. Like for example, the transcript of records and the honorable dismissal. This has to be an original copy. As for the certifications, they can have it photocopied. It's not a problem, but they have to submit it still. They have to still submit it in a hard copy so that we can verify all of these documents. How I wish there are other also options like having an online transcript of record or an online honorable dismissal, but for the moment, whenever we transact with other schools, they would still need
Yes.
the original document.
Okay.
Okay,
You still
thank
have
you.
a lot of questions over
Yes,
there.
ma'am. Another question is, when is the assignment, of the thesis
okay.
advisors for the
TW1?
TW1 or thesis writing 1, ma'am?
Okay. Part of our practice, no, in the face-to-face is really to meet them. So I will be scheduling another online meeting for all the TW1 students. So do not worry about that. It's going to be kasi we cannot have the schedule during weekdays.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
We see to it that it has to be on a Saturday.
On a Saturday.
Oo. Today is August
22,
22. Next is my class.
29.
Siguro we can have it on August 29 kasi I'm full by But anyway, for TW1, you are really met. There are 2 people that would be assisting you, no? We use the scaffolding theory again here, no? 2 people, 2 adults. Your teachers. Of course, your professor in the class plus the mentor.
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. So these are the 2 people that would assist you so that you'll be able to come up with your So the schedule for our meeting, online meeting with the TW1 people would be on August
29?
29. What is August 22? Next is 29.
29, ma'am.
Okay.
Then September 5 for the next month.
September 5.
September 5.
It's not late yet. Anyway,
Yes.
you're regularly met.
Yes.
So we
yes.
can still meet on September 5, 9
Yes,
o'clock.
Yes.
Okay.
September 5, 9 o'clock.
So,
Also, I'd like to add also another question, ma'am, relative to the TW1 because there was an inquiry in our Facebook page that she had her complete academic requirements last 2014, 2015, and she wants to have her TW1 now. Is that possible, ma'am?
No. Part
Not
of the requirement, we also have residence requirement.
Okay, ma'am.
So, 2 semesters. So that would mean even if you already have taken the compre, it's imperative for you to take back the basic with us.
Okay.
Kasi if it's 2014, pag 2014, 7 years lang, di ba?
Yes, ma'am.
Oo. So there are basic subjects. So we still really have to assess that. Right now, it's very difficult to make a pronouncement whether it's a yes or no. But
That's-
one thing is very sure. We have 2 semesters requirement. That means that's the whole school year plus the thesis writing. So 2 years all in all.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. So,
I think I
additional-
was just trying to emphasize that since we have to remember what Dr. Chavez mentioned earlier in the academic policies, that you have to finish your program within the 7 years period.
Okay.
That's start to finish.
Yeah.
Okay, that's maximum already 7 years.
Yes, sir.
But if you are going to go straight with the program, that's practically around 2 to 3 years. You're done already with it.
Yes.
But this is already very long. But that's what Dr. Chavez was saying earlier. She will have to assist the document first as to what could have been the problem in terms of this and that, so that the student will be able to continue.
All right. Another question, the one we discussed a while ago on requirements, ma'am, no answer. Can they hand it over personally?
Yes. You can hand it over personally, or you can. Actually, there are 3 things that you can do in terms of the submission of the requirements. Number 1, you can mail it to us via our couriers. You can have LBC, GNT. It depends on the courier that you would like to have. You can mail it to us. Address it to the Lourdes College Graduate School, and they will be the one to distribute the documents needed for the registrar and needed for the office. Number 2, you can actually hand it over here in the school. you can come here and give it to respectively to the graduate school office. And number 3, if you don't like to come inside the school, we have drop boxes in our security guard. All you need to do is put that in an envelope, write your name, and then write it to the specifically write it to the graduate school office for your addressee, and then drop it in the graduate schools in the security guard's drop box. And then please do inform the graduate school office that you have dropped in there in the security guard your documents, so that they can get it right there and then. So those are the 3 things that the processes where you can submit your
I
requirements.
think that the next question is still in relation with what
Yes,
he was
ma'am.
saying. No? So we do that repeat. So if you're out of the country, I think we have 5 expats enrolled in our
Yes, ma'am.
graduate school
Yes,
here.
yes.
So do not worry. You need not come to the Philippines and just
You
submit
need
Yes.
not
that.
come to the
You can
Philippines to
just,
submit it.
submit it through courier, no? Through whatever form
yes,
you have there.
Yes.
Oo.
Then we also have other
Okay.
questions, sir?
Is thesis writing mandatory after the regular MA program? Subjects have been taken.
All right. I do not like to use the word mandatory, but there are 2 tracks. There are 2 tracks. For MBA, we have the non-thesis track. But if you would like to proceed to your doctoral later, you need to write your thesis.
Yes.
I think we have one graduate this year, no? After finishing the MBA, he decided to take TW1. So later on, if he would be able to finish, that would qualify him to take.
That's for the MBA, ma'am.
Yeah, for the MBA. Now, I would like to say, kasi the other one is of course with thesis. The other one is a practicum paper. But I would like to suggest, whether or not it's a thesis or a practicum paper, it's practically the same.
Yes.
Yes.
But the only difference is the number of units. Because in the practicum paper, you only take that for 1 semester. So that means it's 3 units. Even in terms of the format of the paper, it's also changed. Unlike the thesis, the full-blown thesis, where you have 5 chapters. So it's just the number of units. But if you talk about the amount of work, it's still the same. It's still about research.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so for now, except for MBA, now you just have to take the compre. The rest of the programs would really require you to take either a practicum paper or a thesis.
So that's practically Plan A and Plan B.
Yeah.
That's the 2 tracks.
Alright.
Upon enrollment, you can actually see these things in a flyer or brochure or prospectus that the graduate school is giving. You can see in there how many units are for the majors, how many units are for the electives, and so on and so forth.
Okay,
you can see
so
it
we
in
better
there.
make this fast because we have a number of questions. So those
Yes,
that
we
are
still have-
already answered, you need not
Yeah.
repeat. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
go ahead,
Okay.
please.
What about the students who graduate in LC, ma'am, during their undergrad? Do they still need to pass their TOR
No need
and
to
oral
submit.
dismissal?
No need because it's already here within the
No,
campus.
they still have to they still have to give us a copy.
Yes,
Oo,
for
they still have
the
a copy.
but for the honorable dismissal, no,
Ah,
no,
honorable
no
need.
dismissal.
Only the transcript of records.
Oo. But
Okay.
for the TOR,
Yes.
kasi you still have to request that to the registrar.
Yes, yes.
They still need a copy. Pero honorable dismissal.
No need, no need.
Okay.
Okay, what are the procedures to follow when the student decides to proceed to thesis writing after taking the compre? Ma'am.
What do you mean by procedures? Definitely,
You have to
after
enroll.
thesis 1, now, those of you, by the way,
After
who have-
compre, ma'am, after compre,
Ah.
then they would decide to take the TW1. What is the procedure that they have to follow?
okay,
there.
after knowing that you already passed the compre, the next thing for you to do is enroll
To
in
enroll.
TW1.
Enroll in TW1.
After enrolling in TW1, you will be met, unlike in the past, na after, the compre, then you will be left to the mentor. But you see, we don't have a very good turnout of graduates. That is why we would like to really adapt that a faculty, there should really be a faculty
Yes.
that has to be assigned to ensure that you're
Yes,
able to finish the
yes.
program.
Yes.
So it's just that, very simple.
So
Okay.
they have to enroll.
Yeah.
Next is
relative to the statement of account. When would this be available, ma'am, or in our student portal?
Yes, it's already available in your respective our student portal. All you need to do is type in again your accounts in your student portal, and the statement of account is already in there. If
Alright.
not, if you won't be able to access your portal, you can go back to your assessment form.
Okay. Is there a research guide, ma'am, for the
Okay,
thesis?
Dr. Napieri, I think is there listening, or can she answer?
Dr.
Would she be
Napiere?
able to answer, Dr. Napieri? Are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, would you
Can I be heard?
take it away?
Yes, ma'am, you
Oo.
can be heard.
Yes, yes. There is when they are enrolled in thesis writing, we provide the matrices. Like right now in my thesis writing, we're already in the 4 pillars. So I prepare a guide where they can write their responses and then later remove the matrix and write the manuscript. So the teacher in thesis writing provides them the research guide.
Yeah, other than that, we also provide a seminar for TW people. Those people who are in thesis writing, so orienting them on how to analyze, how to make tables, the hows to. So, it's not only for TW2, but it's even for thesis. Once you would start your thesis writing, so other than the person that is really assigned there, we also organize research fora just to
Yes.
be able to scaffold that you would really be able to come up with your paper.
Yes, and that is one thing that is actually different from Lourdes College graduate school, because we are really helping the thesis writers every step of the way so that they will be able to finish their paper.
Indeed. All right. So another question is there an easy way for them to access like their inquiries and their concerns
Yes.
regarding the program, because there are times that the in charge in
Yes.
in the graduate school is not available, no, perhaps.
Yes. Actually, there are other means where you can get in touch with the people, the people that you would like to talk to. One of that is through our Lourdes College online assistant. You can actually access our online assistant through emails. You can email it to lcoa@lccdo.edu.ph. That's lcoa.lccdo.edu.ph. You can access them via Google Chat and also via Gmail. So just open your Google Classroom or your Google accounts and then go to Google Chat and type in lcoa@lccdo.edu.ph and they will be able to answer you.
Okay, they might would like to take the cameras. Can you flash it again? Oh, nawala na. They might would like to take the cameras, okay? Alright.
Sige, right.
That's it.
Next
Great.
question, Sir
Okay,
Glenn.
we now proceed to another question.
How much?
How much will it cost if a student withdraws in less than a month or after the first subject meeting was conducted?
How much? As a matter of general policy, if you withdraw, if you have paid in cash, the whole thing, I think there is a corresponding percentage, but
Yes.
that is something that will be decided with the finance office. We are not very clear yet about the cost now. Okay, but there is a corresponding percentage. The one that I said in my presentation a while ago, these are generic, but we also look into certain circumstances, especially on the how much. So this is
Yes.
something that has to be negotiated with the Office of the Finance. Kasi it's said there's no problem if you withdraw before the class. So you
Yes.
only have to pay for the registration. But if you already have sat on the class,
That's
there is a
different story.
corresponding percentage, one, or you said only once or twice, there is a corresponding percentage that you need to pay. But as to the how much, you can continue, communicating with us through whatever means, social media.
Okay,
Right.
thank you very much. Another question is relative to the ProQuest. Can they still access it?
Yes, they can still access the ProQuest account with the same password and link. But again, this will be explained thoroughly to you in your respective classes by our Learning Commons staff. They will be getting inside for your orientation. Okay,
Okay.
next.
Relative to payment, no, can we also have ba daw a PayPal account?
We are still working on that. So
Okay.
how we can best
And also GCash perhaps?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
PayPal
we
and-
are working.
Working
Suddenly,
on
we
this.
are considering that kasi it's not just as easy as, you have
Mm-mm,
to
yes,
have
ma'am.
this
Mm-mm.
voluminous documents.
Yes.
There are voluminous documents that have to be submitted to the other partner agencies.
Yes.
So, yeah, these are things that are on the pipeline.
Mhm.
We are working on it.
Yeah, especially for GCash, ma'am, there are instances in Facebook now that there was about a problem, no? Students, some are using GCash, no, to
Yes.
I think you know what I mean, no?
Yeah, we understand that these are ease of payments,
Yes.
but we don't just simply launch it there without really going through all the processes,
Yeah.
the partnership, and also that we will be able to have a smooth flow of transactions.
Yes, okay.
Then we have the next question,
Can we
sir.
make the
Does the
big-
school consider the quality of internet connection we have in the Philippines, like strict professor? What is a strict professor all about?
What's that again?
Do we consider
Consider
the quality of internet connection, ma'am, in the Philippines upon conducting this online learning? Did we consider?
Does
Perhaps
the
the question
school
is.
consider the quality of internet connection we have in the Philippines?
Yeah, because
I think this year we would like our students to know that the school has increased its Mbps from 100 to 200. So that is according to the ITC coordinator. It's 200. So that is the one of the alternatives that we are doing, no, just to be able to address some concerns. Now it may not be perfect, but at least we're doing something
yes,
about
at least
this.
it's
Oo.
stable. The internet
Yeah.
connectivity is stable. But please also rest assured that should in case you will have a poor internet connectivity or weak internet connectivity or intermittent internet connectivity, as what Dr. Chavez mentioned earlier in her presentation, please do inform your professors relative to it so that we can make adjustments, or your professors can make adjustments in terms of the delivery of the instruction.
Okay,
Next question.
this question is again another I think an additional question to kanina, because sometimes the not so techy professors daw, no, does not give consideration to their students because they don't know how to use the internet.
Okay.
That's why she was asking if we are considering the connectivity, ma'am.
Oh yes.
Mm-mm.
Those faculty, no, there were faculty who really come to school,
Yes.
and they are being assisted by people in the IT.
Mm-hmm.
No, now, but we also have some faculty, but our training for the faculty is also ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
Though we have been training or meeting the faculty, but you would know that this is a skill and it's really a
Yes.
continuous training.
Mhm.
So in fact, every meeting that we do, we will be asking ICT people to help us in terms of leveling up our IT proficiency.
Yes, that's
but
true.
especially when I'm aged, I'm advanced in years, a senior citizen, really trying very hard.
Yes.
Trying very hard to cope with the demands of technology. That's why this is also learning together.
Yes, ma'am.
It does not mean that the content is there. We are also learning from our students. And in our class, in my class, there are also people, Ma'am, you click this and that because why is this that the asking permission before she presents? This is my first time to encounter.
Mhm.
And Ma'am, it's like that. You just have to do this. So this is the kind of scenario, the kind of collaboration, the kind of communication that we have. It's really learning together.
Yes.
Learning together. And I appreciate, by the way, the results of the research. There was a survey that was conducted by the Office of Dr. Napiere, the Research and Planning Office. I saw the appreciation of your students. Thank you very much for trusting us. And generally speaking, your assessment, I am not very sure because I think she was only able to cover. I'm not sure, Dr. Napiere, if you're there, how many?
59.
How
Only
many?
59.
Okay, 59.
Oo.
Kasi we are also
Oo.
trying our best to reach out to you and find out what we need to improve.
Yes.
So every now and then, the Office of Dr. Napieri would be tracking how are we in our learning management system now. Oo. So we are all trying very hard.
Yes.
But our best may not be enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. No, for thesis writing 1 students, is it possible that we will be mentored, no, by the professor of our choice, or we will be mentored according to our discipline?
Yes, yes. This is the reason for the TW1. Okay, there are 3 considerations. Number 1, we see to it that you will really work with the person that you're very comfortable.
Correct.
Okay, that is the reason why we are going to meet you. Number 2, we see to it that the person, the mentor that is placed there, has also the discipline. So, as much as possible, if you are MLIS, we give you to the MILS people. If you are PE, we give you to the PE people. If you're English, we give you to the English people. So that's what we do. But at the same time, we have the matrix. As much as possible, we can only mentor a maximum of 5. Okay, that is why I would flash the names there. Okay, Dr. Barcelona is only 5, so you can still have this. So that's what we do. Definitely, we respect whatever preference you have.
Yes.
Okay, but thank you for asking that question.
Okay. Is there a grad school laboratory fee? Because based from my
grad
assessment form, there is an additional payment, but when I check in the portal, there is none. Perhaps in her assessment form, ma'am, she was able to see a laboratory fee. Did we?
Most likely that can be ICT.
Yeah,
It can be an
ICT.
ICT because right now we cannot connect with you, even if you cannot really directly experience or benefit from that. But the school is also investing on our ICT. But no such thing as graduate school laboratory.
Yeah, and also I saw in the assessment forms on that there
but
is
anyway,
a
I'll
name
check on that. I'll check on
laboratory
that.
fee, but
I will
there is
check.
no amount, man, indicated.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
If
that?
there's no amount,
Please check
indicated-
again, no?
Yes, yes. If in your assessment form there is no amount indicated in the graduate school laboratory fee, that means you
There's-
are not paying that.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
You're
That's
not
generic.
paying that.
Yeah, because even in the undergrad there are
There are items there.
items
Yes.
that would say laboratory fee, but there is no amount. That means you don't need to
pay that one.
pay that one.
But
Okay.
if in case there are certain amounts, please inform us through our
Yes.
LC online
LCOA.
assistant, so we can assist you on how we will resolve that.
Okay.
Next.
The subjects indicated in my assessment form are different from the actual subjects taken now.
All right. Doris is 24/7.
Yes,
That is why we have
it's
to
not sleeping
add
anymore.
another human resource requirement there.
Yes, that's
So
true.
Doris will attend to you enrolled, and the actual it's not. So these are some glitches in the enrollment that we are experiencing now. So Doris will be facilitating you, or will facilitate this concern. So there are already 2 of them in the office.
Okay. I would like to ask ma'am if our entrance fee is already deducted from in our assessment
Definitely.
form. Okay.
Yes.
Definitely.
Next.
Okay. Can we pay our tuition monthly so
No
it will not be a
problem.
burden? No?
No problem.
No
well
problem.
and good. That's very good.
That's even better.
Oo.
Yeah, they can pay this month
Or
and
you
the
can
next
pay
month.
all.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. If the student opted for practicum paper instead of the thesis writing, will she still graduate and be considered full-fledged MA holder after completing it?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Oo.
Okay. What if I was not able to join or subscribe in the Google Classroom using the LCCDO account on the deadline? Is there a chance for me to be invited and join?
I would like to make an appeal to the ICT for the month of August. Please still open it.
Yeah.
Month of
The
August.
Gmails.
Ang ano ba? Na you do not accept, you will be disabling. Disabling
Making it exclusive for
making it
LCCD.
exclusive.
Yes.
So, for the benefit of those who are still trying to get in, I was appealing to the
LMS.
LMS team to extend until August. I know they wrote a memo that it will be only until August
August
17th.
17th.
Okay, but you see, there are still some people also coming in, the new
graduate
those who
school
just
students.
enrolled, these things, So I hope, Sir Carl, part of the LMS team, please consider that. Disable it after August.
Okay.
After August.
All right. Another question is there a complete academic requirement after this semester?
Yes.
Yes.
We have it, But it's supposed to be only after a year.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, every year.
Yes,
In
ma'am.
some
Yes,
schools,
ma'am.
it's after every
Yes,
year.
it's actually not every after semester,
Not
but
every after
year.
semester because it's really a job.
Yes, ma'am.
But we also would like to cater to some needs that are expressed to us.
Mm-hmm.
So yes,
Next.
Okay. When is the what are the procedures to follow? I think that was already answered
Okay.
a while
Never
ago.
mind.
When is the possible schedule of the said training and write shop, ma'am, for students taking TW1?
all right.
Okay.
Dr. Napier, I think.
Dr. Napieri, are you still there? There is already a plan.
Actually, Ma'am, Dr. Mendoza is also with us. She's one of the TW teachers, right?
Dr. Napieri, have you already set the schedule for our TW1? Is that Dr.
We will
Napieri
coordinate,
there or Dr.
uh,
Mendoza?
Yes. We will coordinate with Doris on the schedule because
Okay.
we can, yes, we will schedule it because I have classes. I don't have classes in the morning next
Okay,
week.
so you will just
So we
schedule
will
it. All right.
schedule.
We will
Yes,
just be posting,
Sometime
Ma'am, right?
September.
Yes.
Kasi September
Yes.
5, that would be the meeting for the TW1.
Yes.
Okay.
We will just be
Okay.
posting for
Yeah.
announcements on that
Yes.
one. Or we will be contacting the students through their TW1 teachers. And we
Okay.
have last question, sir.
I think this is the last
Oh,
question, no?
last question.
Thank heavens.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Can we ask for a certificate of CAR at
No
the
problem.
registrar's office?
No problem. We will
Yes.
facilitate that.
Yes.
We will facilitate that. Again, kindly keep in touch with Doris. I think you know the cell phone number, mobile number of Doris, and even the email ad. Yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and just to reiterate to the number, can I mention the number of Ma'am Doris, ma'am? 0967 395 3698. That's the number of Ma'am Doris
Repeat.
in the graduate school. Again, 0967 395 3698. All right?
All right.
So-
I guess that ends our open forum,
So,
sir.
we are now entitled to our lunch.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for raising these questions.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
so rich.
This is something
Okay.
that is different, really, ma'am, no? Because when we are conducting the real, the face-to-face orientation, we seldom get questions.
Yes.
But this
Mm.
time we have a couple of questions, and that only goes to show that they're really listening and they're
Yeah.
really
Indeed.
very much interested with their studies. That these things are raised up in their through our open forum. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. Also to our graduate school dean, Dr. Chavez, for being with us, and also Dr. Barcelona, our quality assurance and promotion and marketing coordinator.
I would like also to thank, of course, with us online is Dr.
Yes.
Napieri and also Dr. Mendoza,
Dr. Mendoza
and Dr.
and
Candilas.
yes.
Yes.
And some other faculty as well.
I think yes,
Yes,
there are.
The faculty, I think, are also here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, those who have subjects now.
Yes, ma'am. So we thank them so much for their presence, for their virtual presence and physical presence in our orientation today.
But
Right?
before that,
Yes, ma'am.
I think there is a suggestion coming from the students that if the schedule is from 7:30 up to 12, you know how faithful our graduate school faculty
Yes, that's
are. But don't worry, no? We will be also having some orientation with our faculty that if it's 7:30 to 12 and then 1:30 to 6:30, we will not really consume this because you're using both synchronous and asynchronous.
Asynchronous.
This is the reason for the module. So you can be met 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours, and after that you go on your learning
Asynchronous.
task that can be
Yes.
done asynchronous.
Yes, that's true.
No, but we would not really consume. So those the faculty, I'd like to take the chance. The faculty who are here, it is not really very necessary that you would consume the whole slot of the time, unlike the face-to-face. So this is also part of the adjustments that we are making. So 2 to 3 hours, more than 2 to 3 hours. Yeah, so they can be also
Yeah, that's the
free
beauty.
from the tension
ma'am.
of just sitting, you know.
Yes.
The beauty of flexible learning.
Yeah,
ma'am.
it's
Yes.
really flexible.
It's good to know, ma'am, that they can also do those things asynchronously.
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Even in the graduate school.
Yes.
Right.
So we don't actually consume the entire period
Yes.
for it.
Okay. I think that would be all for this orientation. But before that, we also thank our technical team who are with us in the person of Mr. Carl Nino Bondok. Can I ask Sir Carl to
Please join us.
join us and to just
Just a wave.
So
Just
this
a wave
is the
and
person who will be answering your
Yeah,
queries.
your queries relative to the
You
LMS.
better look at his face.
Yes. This is Sir
all your
Carl
emails
Nino.
relative to LMS, LCOA.
LCOA.
He's actually answering that.
LC
Yes.
assistant.
And even in his personal messenger
Yes.
Facebook. Yeah, he's
His
answering.
personal messenger
He's
because
24/7.
Yes. Okay, also with us
our Mascom student.
Mascom student, no?
Prince Miko.
Prince Miko Bayotas,
Okay,
yeah, just-
Miko.
who is helping us
Say
now
hi
in
and
our
hello.
orientation.
And of course we would like to also thank the
Thank you,
support
Prince.
of our secretaries of the graduate school,
Yes.
Miss Doris and Miss Lensis, who actually were here earlier, and they were making some follow-ups and necessary negotiations in order for this activity really to go through or to push
Okay.
through. So thank you very much
So
to
this is
everyone.
not the first meeting
Yes.
because we would also be providing you forum.
Yes.
It's going to some online interventions and we will just keep in touch with you.
And we would be announcing these forums soon enough.
Yeah.
Soon, so that when you will be we will also do it, hopefully we will have a closer interaction with lesser number of people. Because right now what we are doing is we are broadcasting it via YouTube Live because our Google Meet can only accommodate up to 250 people. That's why probably in the forum when we will have it in a specialized context, so we will just have fewer number and we can use the Google Meet and they can have interaction in there.
Okay.
Real-time interaction.
Real-time
Okay.
interaction.
Okay,
Right.
so
So, thank
that
you.
ends our orientation today. We hope that you're able to learn a lot of things, especially from the presentation we had a while ago, and of course, insights in this orientation. And again, we thank our resource speakers for being with us in this online orientation for graduate school students. All right.
Thanksgiving.
So to close our program this morning, may I request everyone to please be in your prayerful mode once again as we end this with a closing prayer. Let us be reminded of God's presence within and in our midst. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. God, our loving Father, we thank you so much for the gathering we have this morning to the use of this virtual space. We thank you, dear Lord, for the presence of our students, the faculty, our administration in this orientation. And we thank you also for providing us the necessary strength that we need each day in our lives, especially as we face this COVID-19 pandemic. Also, dear Lord, we ask that you continually bless each one of us, that we may be able to glorify you through our good deeds, our good actions, and that in this new way of learning, we would still keep your presence with us, and that we would be helped whenever we need it the most. We thank you, dear Lord, for the gift of perseverance, the gift of patience that you have given us, and that we may be able to use this in our online classes also. We glorify again the Lord by saying, Glory be to the Father, and to the Son, and to the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning,
so now, and will be forever. Amen.
in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
I think we
Good
miss one person to thank. I think that's our host. Thank you, Sir
Oh,
Glenn,
yes.
for serving as our host for this
Yes,
for this
thank
today's
you.
You're welcome,
session.
sir. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Alright.
so goodbye everyone.
Bye, everybody.
So,
Bye.
goodbye everyone. God bless. Praise be Jesus and Mary.
Now and forever.
Okay.
Hello, Ma'am Mills. Ma'am, Dr. Napiere. Kita na lang. Ma'am. What? Ma'am Mills.